to the show, it's Fey and Jay. Unfiltered vibes, we got something to say. From the latest news to the hottest trends. Real talk, real views, no need to pretend. Life, love, and everything between. Dropping knowledge, keeping it clean. Grab your headphones, it's time to play. Welcome to the spotlight, it's the Fey and Jay way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after a hiatus. Welcome to the Fey and Jay Unfiltered podcast. This is episode 8, my favorite number. This is the finale. This isn't the end. We will return eventually, but for now, we gave you a nice, great 8 episodes. So she is Fey,
He is Jay.
and we are back. Fey,
I'm miss
welcome
saying
back.
that for a little bit.
Nice glasses, by the way.
Thank you. You know how to hop in with the Geek Squad
Yes.
in a
So
good way.
let me get my Cody Rhodes on. So what do you want to talk about?
What wasn't it the writer and the painter?
All right. So we're gonna be doing the journey of those two things, and then
So can y'all guess who's the writer and who's the painter? But I think everybody
I
on
think
here knows.
yeah, they kind of know from episode 1 of the creative journey. So I will say let's start off.
Let's
Well,
start with childhood.
yes. Of
Okay,
what?
what got you into writing? Like what
Uh
as a child were you like imaginative?
very, very shameless plug. So everything for me started off, I guess. Well, I got it. If we're gonna talk about imaginary, I got it. It all starts with this imaginary friend of mine that was taken out by my older brother. Um, yes, yes. How does one X off an imaginary friend? Let me explain this origin of Justin's creativity. So,
Okay, go
like
tell him.
like many people, many little kids back in the days, I'm not sure now with the iPad and everything else, um, we had imaginary friends. And you usually commonly see this with single parent kids or not single parent kids, but yeah, single household kids. That's only one kid there. So you make your own friend. I have an older brother. Love you to death because I know you're gonna be watching this episode. But my brother at the time needed a lot of attention. He was the center. He's the firstborn, so he is used to attention. He did not like me not playing with him and me just keeping to myself. I've always been the child that could just keep to
Are
himself,
you
entertain
telling me
himself.
he knocked you off the controllers?
No, I'm saying that he killed my imaginary friend out of
Oh,
jealousy.
no, I'm saying was he don't play with me? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I got it
yes.
the other way.
So I had this imaginary
We're
friend named
mirroring each other. Okay, so this is
yeah.
gonna be interesting.
So
Okay.
I had an imaginary friend named Johnny, and one of these that I will never forget is like at dinner. I guess my brother was upset that I brought him to dinner. I was talking to him. So my brother grabs him. He's like,
It's for the channel. We love you,
so,
bro.
so my brother grabs him, throws him out the window, and he's like, he's dead. He's dead. He's
But
dead.
did you see it?
Yeah, well, I literally was see. So this is the imaginary friend, folks, and he goes
You
like this
know
out the
what?
window.
But what if your brother saw him too?
No. I've never seen like images or what the person looks like.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not.
You're
It wasn't
like,
that imaginary.
okay, that no, some people have.
Yeah, some people do,
Okay.
but
I was
it
trying to see
wasn't.
how far. How far? Okay.
It wasn't that imaginary. So
But
I
you're like, not he's sitting there like that.
yes,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
mine.
that
Okay.
that's all it was. So he takes him out, and he's like, "You gotta play with me now. You gotta play with me now." And that kind of
Oh,
ended the
I didn't have
imaginary.
that.
Yeah, well, that kind of ended the imaginary phase. But I will say the real, because I've always been a lover of film. My first movie I ever watched was The Wizard of Oz, and I used to have like this little
I
funnel hat
still have.
and play the Tin Man. So I've always been a
Oh, the
fan.
original. I'm tripping.
Yes, Judy
Okay.
Garland's Wizard of Oz.
That's my shit.
Yeah,
Because my grandmom's from Wichita.
the second favorite movie of all time besides This a Wonderful Life, which is my greatest
Yes.
of all time. But
Especially that it's singing, like I could still watch it now. Okay,
yes,
sorry, keep going.
so it started with that. Wizard of Oz used to be like really in love with story. And then it wasn't until I got to elementary school I joined a photography club. So when I finish the story, you're gonna see how everything, which our theme of this particular episode, folks, is full circle. You're gonna see how everything comes full circle and how this was all God's plan to be doing on tacos and geeks and everything else. So the abridged version
Including
is
this channel, because
yes.
that's what this full circle. We're gonna call
So
it full circle.
so the abridged version is in elementary school, I was in the photography club. Junior high school, I was on the school newspaper as an editor. This is where I also got the writing bug from my teacher, Mr. Fahey, who was my English teacher at the time and homeroom teacher as well. And he saw my passion for stories, so for extra credit, I had to write short stories for him. So my first short story I ever written, yeah, now I
The
remember. It's about
English teacher loved him.
it was a time traveling ninja named Futuro.
No way.
Yeah, I still remember
And
this.
the shit we're into. What?
Yeah, it was a time traveling ninja named Futuro. Now that I think about the concept of it, it was completely horrible. But at the time, it's like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing in the
You're
world.
a youngster.
Yes.
Oh.
So from there, it was junior high school, and then when I went to high school, I'm not sure if you remember the webpage GeoCities. I was in a computer science class. Well, GeoCities, folks, for the youngins out there, was a like one of the earliest web pages before Blogger and everything else.
Hmm.
So GeoCities, I was like building like a website blog where I was like doing movies and things like that. Well, a web page, I should say. And then in college is when I started really writing, taking writing a little bit serious, and I started writing the early scripts of what will now become Cry Hero, and My Name is Rachel, which obviously became published, self-published through Kindle and
Yes.
Blurb.com. So yeah, so kind of for me, it's been full circle because always been there. It's just loops all around. It went
The
from
evolution of,
it went
right?
from elementary school to junior high to
Mm.
high school to college to the adult where I found Otakus and Geeks, Imaginative Visions, and
Okay,
every
before you keep going, let's go back and forth before it's like
mm,
one-sided. I'm taking the mic. Okay, no. So I started imaginary friend, right?
mm,
Drawing. That was my thing. I would get in trouble for even mimicking what they saw. You know how like a princess has like boobs? I'm like
yeah,
putting a line and I still got in trouble for that on my dad's side. But anyway, they were the strict side. So anyway, like living with my mom, I was more creative because I was by myself. My brother was the what is it? Like the Matilda of it all.
yeah,
Yeah. And he was a golden child, ill. But anyway, so yeah, so I started drawing, which went into painting, which went into, a lot of different things. And one thing I didn't know moving to Houston, that the rodeo was a big deal. And now I'm like, I should have, but I won third prize I just listened to the instructions. They said, here's a big ass, those poster boards. Make a big dog on it. That's all I did. I didn't think nothing of it. And I won third place. But I was a new kid, so I was like, no, you can have it. Because my mom would have gave it away. So I think I mentioned this before. So I do feel like it did start when you're young. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so for me, because my story was gonna be fast. For me, it was just getting all the way up to theater arts, and then getting up to art too. Like all my classes was art classes, so
Yeah.
it was fun. When I did well. So yeah, that's how I got into art.
So,
And
do you remember your first painting?
well, actually, the dog that I drew for the rodeo that I won third place that I totally forgot. Like once you go through healing, you're like, oh yeah, I can't believe I did that. Like the little notches God gave you. But yeah, so that was I just remember the one I drew got in trouble. All right, my cousin snitched on me, and then just because of the princess boobs. Well, don't put it on there. And then the one that I got props for was the dog. Do you remember your first outline of like your favorite, or did you put in a contest? Because I love writing, so I know a contest is like something to look forward to.
I never entered a contest.
No, I did a
No,
poem.
I've never entered a contest, but I remember my first draft of Cry Hero, and it was way different than it was what it came out to be.
Do you still have them to this day?
Yeah, yeah,
You look like you would.
yeah.
When I
I
say
still,
you look very
I,
proud of all your shit. You know what I
I,
mean?
I
I
have,
move too much.
I have everything that I've discarded, every failed idea, and I'll just give the folks a glimpse of what this original story was. Cry Hero originally was a superhero story, um, where the concept is a there's still a little bit of the original of the Cry Hero that we know today, but Cry Hero is a superhero story about a superhero that fails to save his family, and he starts to actually resent the public. And because of that, he starts refusing to save people, and he eventually becomes the freaking villain because people can't. He feels that
But you
okay,
know
people
what?
can't take care of themselves. So yeah.
Maybe it was something you were going through at that time.
Oh yeah.
Because it sounds,
Most.
it sounds not to like, I'm gonna
No,
get
no, no.
personal, but it
This,
sounds
this
a little personal. Like,
it's
oh, I
unfiltered, sweetie.
couldn't.
It's unfiltered. I have nothing to hide. This most of my writing, most
It
of I
comes
will
from the
say
heart, right?
my best writing comes when I'm angry. When I'm like in a state, or when I'm like in a dark place, that's where everything literally is like these
Like when
ideas
I say
come.
the heart, it has two sides.
Yeah,
You could be like down in the dumps and then get yourself out by writing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's
This
what I did with my painting.
I always laugh. My friends always laugh when I say this, and it's just like women are the pattern for me because
For what?
women are the pattern when it comes to the writing thing. Because Otakos and Geeks was birthed because a bad breakup, and for that particular thing, it was
Because
a
the
girl.
expression.
Well, the girl I was dating at the time was like an indie singer and things like that. So out of revenge, like I said, it was just, like it was born out of malice. I was just like, oh, if I
Because I'm
start
gonna be a little
interviewing,
malicious.
I was like, you know what? You want to do this? Okay, I'm gonna show you that I can interview celebrities, this, and the third. And I literally made it my mission, and it was like the first celeb I interviewed was Kim Cattrall, Samantha from Sex and the
Oh
City.
yes, you said
And
that.
yeah, and I remember I like sent her the interview and things I can be very, very vindictive and petty. And yeah,
Is that your ego?
ego, but keep in mind this was like hurt too. It was like it was a breakup, you're hurt, and the
You're
ego just
young.
ego just
Yeah.
ran
And around
wild
that
at that time.
time, were
At
you
the time.
like just coming to your writing? Like this is
Yeah.
just, you know.
Things were like the original, like I wrote a lot of stuff that I have never released. I still have them, but
But
I
that's
would
how it
not,
is.
yeah, I would
I
never
mean,
release them because one, it's dark as fuck. Like
but
it,
there's a section of
yeah,
dark books. You
yeah, there's dark,
don't want to scare people away or what?
and then there's reading this, Justin, you might need to go to therapy or get evaluated. Dark. That's how dark this one is. And I was just like, okay. Like it got dark that even people that I know that love
Like
horror and
dark,
everything.
like Diddy dark. Hey, he's
No, no,
out. You let
not,
him out?
no, no, nothing child related or anything like
No,
that.
anything he did.
Dark,
Drugging
like
people.
Hannibal Lecter dark, but put it
Oh
to
wait, like Marvelish.
no,
I know I
no,
make that
no,
work,
no,
but
no, no,
whatever.
like dark, like serial killer dark, but put it to the 10th level. That's dark. Yeah. Um.
Because people attempted to get my life. I gotta go. Bye. No, I'm playing.
No, no, but for me,
But
but
honestly, it's a good way to express yourself, but know your mental space.
yeah, and keep in
You
mind,
know how
folks.
some people they write and they really go do it? It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
nah,
and keep in
bro,
mind,
I was not on that level.
and keep in mind, this is when I was in a dark place, and things like
Yeah.
that. You're a writer, so all those emotions come out, and you just put it to pen to paper. That's why they say writing is very therapeutic for a lot of people because they just write what they're feeling. Obviously, they don't. The majority of us have it in us, conscious in the soul, not to act on
Your
these.
subconscious,
Yes,
everything.
they have
Yeah.
things like not to act on things that they're writing about and things of that
Because
nature.
on my full circle, this my subconscious kind of did it for me. Okay, so one day I was like painting, right? And I was going through so much stuff and I started remembering stuff, right? And this is trigger warning, by the way. Please put a trigger warning on what it's, please, in case. But it's unfiltered, right? So, but I
Yes.
just don't want to hurt no one's feelings, or bring up anything. But I started remembering my uncle molesting me. I remembered how I lost my virginity at 11 years old. I started, I was just painting, and I came up with this. And it was one of my darkest moments that I didn't even know I was going through. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, we can very clearly.
You can?
We can.
Okay.
Beautiful painting.
Thank you. So at first when I did this, I felt like, you know, like um like someone ripped me apart, right?
Mm.
Then I looked at it again because I did this a while back and I was like, it's because it's acrylic. I want y'all to see like her face and stuff. But anyway, and then I started looking at it more like I was the rose that couldn't die as much as people stomped on her. So you've
Awesome.
been asking about my paintings. Here's one. I do have happy paintings, by the way. Um, what started this one though, was in COVID. So it's how long has that been? 5 years?
5 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is when it was made. And I had a lot of people, because I did a painting for Gabriel Fernandez. He was on Netflix. He was getting abused by his mother. It was like a big deal. RIP, and sorry for bringing it up, but I just want to let this be known as to why I did it. So I started going in my community. I said, what can I do that's different? Because me and you, we like to help out our communities. It's just in us to do that. So I started painting and going to these tributes and giving them the paintings. And they're like something I could do, right? And it's the community. And then I was like, I don't want people thinking I want clout from this, because they're like, come take a picture with us or da 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 da. So I started feeling weird about it.
Mm.
And then when people started telling me more and more, like the whole point was to stop the abuse in COVID, that trafficking was still going, that kids were at home now. They didn't have school, so they didn't have nowhere to go if they were getting abused in those ways. And when I say those ways, molestation, rape, and molestation again, that's what happened to me. But I was like, why don't I turn the mirror on myself? Because I didn't like that people were emailing me like, you do a great job. Here's another story. And I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not, that's not, I was trying to make awareness. So I was like, you know what? Put myself in the hot seat. She got molested by her daddy's side uncle. She got raped by her stepfather. She got molested again by a boyfriend. So just letting everyone know that's what it was about. Because when I put it out there, nobody knew what I was up to. So kind of wanted to say thank you to Jay because we had this conversation and then he's like, let's make a podcast. I'm like, okay. I was just wanting to write, you know. I was like, well, you know, can I have some pointers? And all this came. So that was my full circle on the conspiracies. I don't say they're theories because my whole point is it's in people's homes. People don't talk about that. But y'all want to talk about, you saw how thrilled people get about celebrities, but you don't do nothing at home. You see it slide. A lot of people saw it and slid it right on the rug. So I did too. So now that I did come out, people are like, why? Why now? Da, da, da. Because I got my power and this is my life and it's my truth. And so my whole point of this whole thing is just thank you to Imaginative Visions because I would have never said this to anyone. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I know the writing Justin does for you guys is just for the women as well. So I just want to say thank you to your writing skills as well, because that's what made this whole thing full circle on why the conspiracy or why we like Marvel or why we're super, you know, heroes. So I just wanted to put that out there.
And that's honestly why I wrote Rachel. Because
Rachel,
yeah, my name is Rachel.
that's what
Because
caught my
I
eye was
yeah,
Rachel.
that's
So if y'all
why
haven't looked at it, it's kind of like a comic manga
it's
situation.
a comic.
Okay.
It's a
I was trying
graphic
to make it look just like,
that
you know, because he loves manga, y'all.
yeah,
He needs to make one. He needs to make one.
that's the second book, folks. Obviously Cry Hill's the first, but My Name is Rachel is the second book from me, and that one is about sexual assault. And that's reason why I wrote that is because I
And it
have a
hit
lot.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, it have a lot of female friends that were assaulted, and the whole not that I hate. I'm sorry, the book's been out for like a couple of years. I'm gonna spoil the ending, but
No, it's a great book.
yeah,
Like I saw a little bit and then he let me read the whole thing and I'm like, where like women like me need this, just like little girls need paintings, you know? Like we need to get our community together. Remember we were talking about
yeah,
2025,
and
you know?
it's at the end of the book, like Rachel's assaulted, and she starts from a classmate,
Yeah.
and it goes through the same. It goes through the same trials that some women go through. They get threatened by the assaulter, blackmail. There's shame. There's
Have you heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
yes, yeah, definitely. There's
I think my
shame.
family did that to me. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to run away to my mama. I'm like, fuck. I
You know,
it's weird. It's weird. You like when it's family, it's different, right?
yes.
That can happen. But when it's just a random person, y'all
When
need to look or can you uh describe what Stockholm Syndrome is? Because I don't know.
it's basically, folks, where you
I don't want to
I,
say it and it sound like a love thing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, no.
Well, I'm gonna read the actual one because this is such a serious.
Yeah,
I'll
just in
get
case people are
yeah.
triggered,
So
but it
it's
is something that someone like this could go through. So,
so this Stockholm syndrome is basically it's a psychological phenomenon where the hostage or victim develops positive feelings or emotional bonds with their captors or abusers, often prolonged due to stress and a need to survive. So it's a form of a survival mechanism for some folks to either deal with what happened to them and try to rationalize instead of kind of facing what actually happened to them. So they see
Right. Then
a
like
little
act,
bit of the
then do
positive.
the action,
Yeah,
just be in your mental.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that that
That's why
goes
I like that
on.
you're a writer because you could really get that point across for
Well,
women as well. You know what I mean? I like that.
well, my process of that was when it came to Rachel was I became Rachel. Like for me, I don't write any character unless I have this thing where I get I want to call it a possession or anything like that. Is I legit feel everything from every character I write, even the villains. Like it fucks me
Yeah,
up.
you
Like
got to step
yeah,
into the role.
yeah.
When I
It's
did theater arts, yes,
yeah.
you got to step into
So
it.
Rachel, I felt everything. I felt the shame.
That
I
that was like your
felt the
best
fear.
friend.
Yes, it felt very organic and real. And the whole like the ending of it is that she starts this thing called the One Voice Initiative, where she
Don't kill
gathers.
it.
Yeah. No, it's
I
been
really
out for
like it.
years. It's been out for years, but the reason why I'm
Oh,
saying is because the message is important. So she starts this One Voice initiative in her college where other victims, male and female, made sure to put male victims in there as well for that reason, because men do not come forward when they
mm.
are molested, especially when they're molested by another male, and especially when they are molested by a female, because the statistics is like, oh, it's highly unlikely. No, it's becoming more and more
It's
actually
crazy because
frequently now.
going through mine, I'm like, wait, did you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not thinking about boys.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
So
that's something we need to stop because male to have a masculine, we need it, you
yeah,
know?
it's a lot that's going on, especially a lot of females now. You see it on the news with these older teachers having gangbangs with 13-year-olds. Folks, that is RAPE. That is Sagittary. It's not something like, yo, I got,
Especially when you know they're that young,
yeah,
when you know that they're on drugs.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
It's,
my whole thing is like there's always demons, right? But
yeah,
there's like a sex entity. There's a alcohol one. There's a you know what I mean? So if you're doing these low vibration things, don't be surprised when you get out of that illusion and you're like, what the fuck happened? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Because honestly, you know, you have people that don't know what they're doing, and that's what's sad about it.
yeah.
You
And
know, when they're saying they're like psychopath, like there is. That's what empaths don't fuck with. You know, we see them, we stay away.
and this is the thing too. We don't know. That's why it's very important. Like when we see somebody who might be acting out in where you live, or especially me here in NYC, you see a lot of shit in New York. You see a lot of people acting out, going quote unquote crazy. This person could be dealing with trauma that we have no idea
Because they don't want
that
to face it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I am so pro, and you are too, facing your traumas. That's the only reason why I came on. I have a whole bunch of paintings. Like he said, I could paint, but I wanted the this finale to be something that's something we talked about and didn't mimic it
yeah,
because people are going through this stuff.
yeah,
I kind of just was like, you know what? This is what's going on right now. That's why I was like, diddler, fuck it. You know, let's talk shit. But then I thought about it. I'm like, it's full circle. Why would I want to talk about it so much? Because I want to help the people that went through the same type of deal, you know, and you have friends. So wouldn't you, okay, some of your friends, they don't want to come out publicly,
no,
right?
no. Some
So
people,
I feel like I am here for them. You know, I'm here with them, like on his, y'all need to go read it when he drops it randomly. I say put a link out just real quick for the people on your
it'll be in the description.
yes,
I'll put it in
okay.
the description. But
Yeah.
to wrap up the Rachel part, it's everyone has, and it doesn't even just have to be sexual assault. it can be whatever you're going through. Like
Wait, hold
you
on. The trigger stuff? I'm sorry, the trigger stuff? Did that bother you to have to go on the guy's side that
no
was abusing?
no
You know what I'm saying?
writing the
I
villain,
that's
yeah.
what I wanted to ask you
Oh,
when
the
I read
writing,
it.
because yeah, the I
I just want to
was
clear Jay's name up for
like
everyone. He's a great guy.
writing Daniel's character
That's her
was,
abuser.
yeah,
And they went to
it
school
was
together.
very the hardest thing I've done, because
Is it?
his
I thought.
and I just want, I also want to really stress this out too. I do not show the sexual assault at all in the book. It's alluded to. I don't show it. I refuse to show it. What makes it hard is what he says. It's the dialogue that makes it like, whoo. There's one dialogue in there where he's threatening her. He says, "You're not the first girl. You're not the
Yeah.
last. I get a new home every year." And just the fact
You're
that
like,
he's
she
not,
reading it like a Bible? What's
yeah,
going on?
the fact that he doesn't see her as human, he says, "I get a new
But they
hole every year."
don't.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I applaud you. Everybody applaud Justin Williams, aka Jay and Faye over here. But no, I applaud you for speaking on a part of her growing up. In between my healed and her trauma, you actually really got in between. Like you knew what to say, what they would, their scare tactics, their
Yeah.
manipulation, which it's word abuse, you
Yeah.
know? People don't look at that. You could get mental abused. You could get spiritually abused, and you could get,
Verbal. Yeah.
physically.
Physically. But it's the verbal abuse for me, that, because just doing research, talking to people. Yes, the physical is traumatic, but it's the aftermath. It's
Okay, see, with
usually,
my rape case, I don't remember it.
mm,
But when I was trying to remember, I was just like meditating and I was like, what happened that day? I was
you
young.
get flashes.
A younger, and I remembered my uncle on my dad's side, and I'm like, oh damn,
Yeah, you get
because
flashes.
I guess it's so. I think God is like it's so traumatizing. That's just one thing at a time, one
Mm,
thing at a. You know what I mean? But I applaud you for actually speaking. Like that's something I would have said. That's something I would have did. That's something, you know what I mean? It was nothing off the rail where I would be like, he don't know nothing about that. It was a lot of, I can't believe he knew about that.
no, it's more
So I
for
thought you talked with somebody.
no. I talked to people, but it was more, writing Rachel was literally kind of cheating, because there was literally a female voice in my head just telling me a story. So I was just
Really.
literally reporting what I heard. I don't know.
You're my angel.
It's in most of my writing process, folks. I just don't think of things.
I
Everything I write, I see it in my dreams. So I literally watch it like it's a movie, and then I write it down. So I was there,
That's like a
seeing
good
that. Yeah,
meditation skill.
yeah. That's what I think it is. It's just
'Cause
something
I never asked you, do you meditate?
I do.
Good.
Yeah, I do.
That's
And
good for like high blood pressure and all that too. If people are not into the whole,
and
realms of things.
that is where Rachel came from. It was just, had this dream, saw
It
everything,
was
and
the person that your brother threw out the window. It came because of
the revenge of Johnny Wani coming back to
I'm
help
Rachel now, bitch, you know?
me write books and stories. I would have passed them, but I mean, on all seriousness, before we go to the next topic, folks, we're gonna leave the number. There's a hotline number, especially if you're in the U.S. Let me pull that up, because that is very, very important. Um,
Because
and
this is improv then live,
yeah,
some of the stuff do get skipped, but we'll try to put it in the comments
yeah,
for
I'm gonna put
people
on
that
the comment
resonate.
description, but the number for the National Sexual Assault Hotline is 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673.
And prayers to anybody that is scared to go out. Just always know there is a way out. There is always.
Yeah, and you're not alone. Trust me, you are not alone. It's not your fault. And, just do
'Cause
what you
I got
got.
kidnapped and everything. Like if and I laugh about it because I can, right? But I really want to like put it out there. Like people are fucking crazy. Like people I thought that loved me, that have my same blood, was doing some fucked shit. So again, have discernment, you know what I mean? Even with your children, please watch for that too. It doesn't have to just be you. And maybe if it happened to you, check on your kid, boy or girl. I hate when they're like, my boy good. Did you
No.
check though? Did you have a conversation? Because maybe that's why it turns into another one of these because he didn't get healed. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we stop it right now? Why not?
So I know, folks, this
Let's
was
go.
heavy, but we wanted to really truthfully end the finale on some real, not only just some real talk, but on some real life lessons and to inspire. That's what
That we
Faye.
could say that we actually did and went through that. If you know, you can reach us at any of our Instagrams. I don't mind if y'all have your stories and don't want to make it public. You could DM me. I don't mind. I'm on some healer motivator type deal, so I'm praying for everybody that is fighting a battle that they can't talk about.
And I will always say this: everyone is screaming. We just don't know the volume of it.
Exactly. I like that. That was
So
on you?
that's on me. That's
Y'all
what
need
I say.
you better quote that in a book or something.
Everyone is screaming. You just don't know the volume. So as much as
And then it's the next selling book.
and with social media, and I think social media, and I know these past episodes I've always get on social media because I honestly think it is a contributor or an enabler for people not to heal because they keep seeing people keep putting out the representation or what they think life is. So all you see is the positive. I tell people this all the time.
Like it's a fake persona.
Yes.
Like I could go rent a car and go put it outside and be like, oh,
Yeah.
but have you ever rode in it? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Don't especially for my single people out there. Don't believe everything you see in these happy couple posts. And
I've seen the artist. It's not real.
yeah, don't believe everything you see on this person's success and things like that. One, you don't know what they had to do to get there. Number one.
So that it might be blood money,
Yeah,
you
might be
know.
blood money, might have to sell their soul, relationship wise. Just because you see a happy couple, one of them could be cheating. The other one could be this. They
And they
could
could be
be.
psycho,
Yeah,
you
one,
know?
so you don't know behind every smile is not every, what they say, not every smile is a smile. You know what I mean? That smile could just be
Look at
hiding,
Joker.
that smile could be hiding a scream behind those eyes. That's what I said. Everybody's screaming, you just don't know the volume. Some
No,
people are
that's
screaming
true.
very
Like the eyes
loud. Some people
are the
have a little
soul.
whisper of a scream. It's still a scream, though. That means we're basically, folks, if you don't understand what I mean, it's like we all struggle. We all have internal
Even in the
struggle.
quiet of it, you know, it could be on mute, you know, we
Yes.
don't know,
We
that's
all have
that's
struggle, folks.
basically
And it's just more of, like face it, it's more about healing as she's on a path of healing from everything. And since she praised me, I
well, I
gotta
feel like I'm
praise.
walking in my heels, that's why I can talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I want people to know there is a ending. Don't ever think it's like Never end. There's an ending. Trust me. I promise. I promise. God won't leave you behind.
No.
And I'm
And
not trying to be preachy. I'm like for real. That's how you know you've been through some stuff, you know?
and if you know Faye, then you know Faye has went through a lot, has overcome a lot. And this is what makes Faye so awesome. Is that Faye is able to go through adversity, go through the motions, go through the pain, the struggles, the tears, the cries, and still come out fire,
It's
with
true
that
when they
will.
say there's no more tears left to cry.
Yeah.
It's true.
And it's a testament to her strength. But not even if you feel like you can't get there, you will. It takes time. Emotional, spiritual, physical pain, all scars. Scars eventually heal. The scar mark still might be there, but it's
Right.
not bleeding anymore. It's healed.
Exactly.
But the scar might be there to remind you of what happened.
And
But
don't
yeah, and things you
or
don't,
to
yeah,
remember,
or to remember.
Yes.
And it's life is a beautiful struggle. It really is.
It
Um,
is.
it is. It really is.
Like you
But
make it beautiful with your writing. And again, I have more paintings that are beautiful. Maybe we'll see that later on.
yeah, and it's more of what you make out of it. It's unfortunately not some people. Let's be honest. Some people don't make it. Some
Yeah.
people can't make it. They can't deal, and unfortunately, they take it. Won't get into that for sure, but for those who are on the verge of that, I will say think it
The
over if you
Logic
can.
song. I feel like
That
since we brought the Logic song.
or please reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
Anyone who you can trust that will help you.
Get to a safe space first, and then do what you need to do. I feel
Yeah,
like that's what people don't say too much.
yeah.
They're like, just go to whoever, and then they're like, the stalker right around the corner. That's his friend.
So
So, and another thing is discernment. That's what I helped me discernment. Like, oh no, ouch.
and Faye brought up meditation. How did I get over this rage, this anger that I literally was holding in for like so many years? I've always been kind of you don't
Writing,
see it. You don't see it, folks. You don't. There's a lot of things like only my brother or someone close to me will see. They see the
like your
frustration.
soul family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will see the frustrated Justin. People will see the angry Justin. Only a very few selective few have seen the dark, rageful Justin. And it took a very long time, like they brought up meditation. It took a lot of meditation. It took me going back to church and following my faith again to calm the beast. That
Do you
was
feel like it was a big struggle? Was that one of your biggest struggles?
it's still a struggle today because
Yeah.
of the constant injustice and
Well,
stupidity.
it don't help the fire sign. Me and
Yeah,
my
it
damn Sagittarius.
doesn't help that either, but it's still a
But
struggle.
I think the writing is good for that.
Yeah, it's still a struggle
Unless you have
today.
writer's block, then you're like, fuck
Yeah,
it.
then you're freaking screwed. But it's still a struggle today for me, mainly because of now it's more it has nothing to do with me. It's more of the constant injustice I see. It's more of okay, there's ignorance I'm seeing, I'm working with ignorant people. Not my job, not my job. I'm just saying, or I see ignorance and I'm seeing things like this, and it's just more of like, yo, like where
Like
are
when
we?
you're more aware,
Yeah,
you see the dummies.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
this is the dangerous part because
That's
when
the dangerous part of waking up to all the
yeah,
bullshit.
when you are aware, the most dangerous part is not to toe the line that you're so aware that you become arrogant and cocky.
Egotistic.
Yes, because you know, but they don't. That's
Right.
where the constant battle will always be. for me personally, that is one my battle
No,
will
but
always be.
it's a life lesson.
Yes,
We're here to learn life
yes.
lessons, you know.
There
So
will
I'm
always be
glad
a
you
battle.
did get that off your chest because you know sometimes just letting people know
Yeah,
is like, you know what? I I'm actually good for 10 years. I'm good for 20 years, you know.
yeah.
You don't know until you talk about it.
It's a struggle. It's always for me. Will always be my biggest battle. Will be not ego. I don't really have like an ego, but it's
Well,
more
no, you make
of
friends with your ego.
yeah.
It's
It's
always gonna be there to protect you.
yeah.
You know, like, hold on. It's okay. She's cool. Oh, okay.
It's more for me. My biggest struggle will always be, ever since I was young. It's kind of that frustration I always felt that everyone comes to me for things, like for help and things like that. It took, I would say, yeah, it took a long time to accept what my role is.
But then
And
we looked up your life path and it just made sense.
yes, it did. And it's more of like, even like, I'll tell a quick funny story. I went to the mall a couple weeks back for my mom's birthday, right?
Mhm.
And I kept getting stopped by strangers. It was like
It was your light.
it was like it got to the point I'm just like, yo, I gotta get out this mall.
Tired.
Everybody keeps yeah.
They were taking
One
your energy.
one lady was asking for directions. One guy, pretty sure was trying to hit on me, stopped me to compliment me on my sneakers, then introduced me to his name and stuff. I was just like, okay, thank you, cool. And then someone else asked for help, and then my mom was like, "Why is everybody keep stopping?" I was like, "This is the first time ever."
Not famous, mama.
And for me, it's always this. I always have it in my mind, like all these people here, and I'm the one you stop to ask for help. All these people here,
It's the intelligent in you and the light you
and,
bring, Justin.
and I will never. And then every time I feel that way, I will always remember this moment on the train when I was like in my early 20s, where this lady asked for help. I did it. I was tired from work. She could see I'm like tired and frustrated and stuff like that. And I will never forget what she said because it's still embedded in my brain. Anytime I get frustrated, when someone asks me, and she said, she literally, I kid you not, folks, she said this to me. She said, I came to you because my spirit said you would help. And I was just like, okay,
That's
now
a blessing, Justin.
it,
I just have to like,
it is.
that's real. And
It's
what did I say earlier? Full circle on this one
yeah,
too.
yeah. But my challenge
'Cause I really do feel like that. That's so wild.
my challenge and my personal struggle is accepting that, because
You're trying to what?
my challenge is accepting that because I'm so weary that I get tired of being the helper,
Yeah.
and it gets tiring to be of
But you
service
know
or
what?
things
You're
like
in
that.
a congested city, right?
Hmm?
So, like, you're in a congested city.
Yes,
So if you go to the mall, it's really congested.
yes.
Like, we have like space, you know, when we go shopping. I feel
Mhm.
like I've seen a little bit of New York. I'm like, whoa. But only on TV, right? But or on my phone. But y'all are absorbing all that energy, like
Yeah.
even if it's bad, good. So take a break, go outside, you know what I mean?
I,
Take
I,
care of
s-
yourself.
like I said,
And nobody will ask you, you know what? Boundaries. That's another thing. Boundaries. If I had boundaries, it wouldn't go so far. If I had boundaries on certain things, I wouldn't be kidnapped and shit by my ex. Like, what the fuck's going on? Backseat and everything. I felt like it was a movie.
oh,
But anyway, honestly, I think that's a blessing that people do help. I mean, want your help because people want to be helpers and they don't know how. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's the aura you have, like a
and
helping hand. But
it,
you could
it
always say no. That's the
it
boundary.
it took a while because now I'm
Like
at
I
that
gotta
point where if it does happen, I usually do it. I'm not as reluctant as I used to be because before I'm just like, okay, God, why me? Why me? Why me? Like, what is it? Like, why do they keep coming to me? Like, I don't like. I'm in that. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to go home phase. I'm not talking about like go home. I'm like, I'm just done with the plane. Like,
like you want to be in your body and
I,
chill.
I just want to rest. That's how
Yeah.
tired I am. And it took a while. Like I said, it took meditation. It took finding it, and it's just more of like, all right, this is what I'm here. Like, and just looking at the jobs I do, I work in schools where I'm doing nothing but helping, obviously, and working with kids,
Oh
right?
my gosh, you
So
were
it's
just talking
like
about that.
full circle. And it's
Yeah.
just like working with kids was the catalyst to really accepting whatever this stuff is because it made me
I think
more,
it's a gift.
yeah, it made me more empathetic, obviously. I
Yes.
became more empathetic. It wasn't more of how I used to be like, look, man, life is hard, this, you gotta go through it. Now more it's just like
You
is it,
understand. You're like, let me see
yeah,
the paper. Okay.
yeah. This it's
Yeah.
more empathy. It built up the empathy. And like
Yeah.
Faye said,
Whereas
that's
before
my
you'll probably be like, hold on, I'm doing something. You know what I mean? But no, like there's always a gift of compassion. There's
yeah.
always a gift of giving. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes we're built, I mean, God's not going to just give you a gift, right? You have to build on that gift. So I feel like that was yours,
That's my full
whereas
circle
later
moment.
you're going to be like, oh, no. I've been through that. I've been through that a couple times. I know people that have been through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
but we are going to get close to wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So I want to do our final thoughts on this. And, we set out, first of all, folks, thank you, 8 episodes. So I just want to stress,
Yes.
this isn't series finale, season finale. We will be back. Okay. We will be back. Dude, this is not
We
the
gotta live
end.
life and
Yes.
experience it and then come back and
That
tell you guys,
yes.
you know.
I'm still finishing up college. Faye's got a whole lot of stuff she's doing. So
Yes.
as you can see, the hiatus, that's because life happened. So like,
Right. But you know what I see on the screen right now is happiness.
yes.
I feel like the first 2025, we were like, shit.
So Faye, I'm gonna pass you the baton. I want you to give your final words and then I will give mine to close it out. Since it's
Of this
Fey
whole
J.
thing, I feel like, you know, again, I think I can't express it enough that thank you for putting a platform for both of us to talk about what we need to talk about. You know what I mean? Some people they're kind of scared to work with other people. You know what I mean? I want to show people that is unity, to staying united, all of the prefixes, suffixes. I can't even talk now. But you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I just wanted to leave. Like, if this was the last thing I could say in the world, I just want us to have love, peace, and harmony, all the good shit, but also know how we got here. We didn't get here from just, oh yeah, let's talk about reptilians and yeah, we're no, we talked about the shit because we've been through some shit. So that was my wrap up.
And I will go to close this out, folks. First of all, thank you for joining us here, Faye. It's always a pleasure. Love you to death. You know that. I will say this, folks. It has been, especially with this particular episode, and Faye, thank you once again, actually, for sharing your story. I know it's not easy to publicly go on YouTube and say what happened to you, and but someone listening, male or female, transgender, non-binary, whatever people identify as, people. That's
And that's the goal for us. So yeah.
that's the goal. I don't care what you are, what you believe in. Keep them, especially what you went through, what you were able to share.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Folks, our whole journey, they say it's the journey, not the destination, right? The destination's important, but the journey shapes you. The destination, you got to get there. You will get there,
Your
but
path will be beautiful,
but and even if it's not a beautiful path, because let's not all roses
rainbows and shit. Yeah.
are sunshine and roses.
But
Some
there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm just saying.
Yeah, some of us have darker paths. Some of
Right.
us are gonna go through struggles. Some of us are gonna go through abuse. Some of us are gonna go through assault, substance, or whatever. The beauty of it all is surviving it and becoming the person that you are supposed to become. Not all of us are able to survive that, and unfortunately, that is, I guess, part of their journey. But I will say this, and I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. You are not alone. You have, even if you have one friend in the world, that one friend is there to talk to you. You don't have family, whoever it is, it can be a stranger. And sometimes, here's another quote. Sometimes the best ear is someone who doesn't know you, because
That might be your soul tribe instead,
they can,
Some people,
yeah, they might not, they're not gonna know you to sugarcoat shit. They'll give you that real, you know. Serious, they'll give
yeah,
you
because
that
they don't
real.
know you. They're gonna be like, man, yeah.
Yes, especially the way the world is going. There's no, you already see hints of darkness coming, great darkness,
Yeah.
around the world. Not just here in America. I'm not being political. It's just you can tell it's gonna be some great darkness. This is the time to finally start to see each other as humans, brothers and sisters. Everybody has
Yeah.
goals, dreams, ambitions. We all do the same bodily functions. Everyone has some type of goal.
We're all one in this.
Yes.
Humanity. Like nobody says it no more.
Be blessed, be smart, be vigilant, stay up. This
Yeah.
is Jay,
This is Faye.
and we're signing off for now, my friends. We will be back very soon.
Go live life, guys. We
Enjoy.
love
Thank
you.
you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's been real, my friends. Later
Bye.
days.
Yeah, another Fey Jay. We're signing off the air. Thanks for tuning in. You know we always care. If you dig what you hear, give that thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, show some love. What's up? Hit that bell for notifications. Stay in the loop and drop knowledge in the views. Real talk, no spoof. Spread the word, tell your crew, make it known. Fey and Jay show, redefined in the microphone pro. So keep the lock, stay tuned. Don't miss a beat. We'll be back with more fire, straight heat to your seat. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for the support. Catch us next time. Same place, same sort. Peace. Peace. Yeah. Peace. Peace.